Hey guys, Kev here, and I'm ready to do my full review on the Asher Knife Co. Centri 2.0. So I actually filmed this review about a week or so ago, and it's off center. What's going on here? What's going on? My mind playing tricks? Yep. I don't know, it might be a little off there. I do use this knife a lot. Sorry, so I filmed this review a week and a half ago. It was a little bit ago. But I was wearing my work shirt, or a shirt with my work logo on it, and I felt weird about that. So I deleted it. And I don't know why I didn't just refilm it right away. But I don't know. It's a knife that I use, so it's always there, and I don't know. I just hadn't thought of it. I was trying to get through loaners and new stuff, I guess. So anyway, I've done this before, so I apologize if I come off a little repetitive to myself. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Anyway, the Asher Knife Co. Centri 2.0 is a cool knife. This is actually the first Asher knife I ever tried, this design. I saw Peter's video on it from Therapeutic Edge, so shout out to Peter. And while I'm at it, shout out to Christine, Women Carry Knives, the venerable and amazing and beautiful Christine from Women Carry Knives. I love them so much. They're such a cool couple, and I'm always jealous of the couples in the knife community because I want that. So I saw his review of this when they first came out. Now, this is the 2.0. That was the 1.0. The ones that came out that were supposed to be on bearings but had washers, so they were discounted. So I got one, and I had issues. It had blade play, and that was because, like, a good amount of blade play. Not like you have an axis lock, and it's got a little wiggle in it. Like, right now, this has none. And it drops shut like that. But it had a good amount of blade play. I reached out to Justin from Asher Knife Co. And that's really what started my relationship with Asher Knife Co., which you may know now. I have a discount code for AsherKnives.com. Lefty 10, Lefty 10 will get you 10% off at checkout. I don't get anything for that. You get a discount, and usually when a new knife comes out, he sends me one. But it's not like a deal we have or anything. And he was just so good about it. The customer service was amazing. And that was before, that was like right when I started my Instagram. I didn't have a channel. I didn't have anything, right? In terms of like a presence in the knife community, right? Which I wouldn't even say I have one now, but it's a little more so than I guess then. And, it didn't matter. He was amazing about it. He sent me a replacement. I actually had similar issues with that one, even though he had checked it. I think I took it apart, or I just didn't like the action on washers, basically, is what it came down to. There wasn't actually anything wrong with that one. I just didn't like the action on it or whatever. But I kept it, and I had the other one for like parts. He said just keep it, and if you ever need to take something off of it, go for it. And those knives literally just sat in the box, in my box of boxes for months. And I kind of eventually was trying more Asher knives, and it got to a point where I was really friendly with Justin, and at this point I'd call him a buddy. At one point I just said, hey man, I got these two Centuries just sitting here, like I'll send them back to you. You could use the scales or whatever for warranty work, or just do whatever you want, right? So I sent them back to him, and I had not had another Century since then, and I never really used the ones I had. So about a month and a half, my buddy Alex, 814EDC, check his channel out, guys. Really cool college student in the hobby, trying to show you what it's like for a college kid to collect. I really appreciate his viewpoint, and he's just a cool dude as well. He is also a buddy and a friend. So he got one, and it kind of like just sparked something in me to try it again. So I reached out to Justin. Justin sent me one to check out, and that's what I've been doing, and I really, really like this knife. And I just spent 10 minutes telling you all that, and I have not started the review. So, the Asher Knife Co. Centri 2.0 is a gorgeous looking knife, in my opinion, for a kind of work EDC knife. It has a little bit of flair to it that I can definitely appreciate, namely being this harpoon. It is almost identical to the Asher Nomad. And they actually use the same frame, scales, lock, all of that stuff. But the blades are different. So on this one, you have a little bit of a taller blade with a harpoon. And it's also slightly longer. But these scales and everything are made to accommodate that longer blade. You'll see where the end of the tip is in the scale there. There's a little bit of room before it gets to the end here. And on this guy, there's a little less room, and that's because you could blade swap these if you wanted to. The action. So, yeah. So you have the Nomad and the Centri, basically the same kind of concept, except the blade's different. I absolutely love the harpoon on this. I think it just gives it a nice little touch with a blood groove / fuller. This is a stonewash blade in S35 VN steel. There is your Asher Knives Maker's Mark. And yeah, I just think it looks cool. Has your standard kind of Nomad handle kind of style there. No lanyard or anything. Steel liners, G10, white backspacer. Really good looking knife. And then on the blade, you have that harpoon. You have this fantastic poon spoon right here, where when I grip this knife, my thumb lands absolutely perfectly in that poon spoon, and I can go to work like this all day, cutting, slicing, whatever it may be. So aesthetically, it's really nice to me. Ergonomically, it's very comfortable, very neutral grip, obviously. My large size glove hand fits perfectly. The clip is on the left side. It is reversible. Justin, again, the customer service is fantastic. When you order your knife, you can select left hand or right hand. He will switch the clip for you if you're left-handed, so you don't even have to worry about it. I love that service that he does. Doesn't cost you anything. And then you have a filler tab over here. So just overall, it's a nice, really kind of basic package, but with that poon on it that really kind of gives it a little flair. I love that. So yeah, that's ergos and aesthetics. Now, the action on this knife is fantastic. You have this Axis style crossbar lock here, which I really, really like. And to compare it to a bug out or any Axis lock, that's the only one I have. You'll see that the bars on here, whatever you call these things, are polymer, plastic, whatever, and they're almost inset into the scale, so they don't stick out really at all. So you have to kind of like get in there and squeeze down and like drag it down. Whereas on the Ashers, they stick out a little bit and they're actually steel. So you just get a much more positive kind of grip on these. And it makes it a lot easier to do the kind of like axis flip. Also makes it easier to just disengage. I really enjoy fidgeting with this knife more so than I do an axis lock. The thumb studs, I think, are just standard step thumb studs, nothing special. It fires out. It has a good detent. The spring there is strong enough to get it to basically shoot out like that every time if you're trying. even if I kind of lazy it a little bit, it still wants to shoot out, you know. And occasionally I'll fail it, but that's any knife really. So I do enjoy that, and it's on bearings. So that is why it does that. And I like how it just drops in. Like, it doesn't really bounce around. It kind of just sucks it in once it's down. I really like that. The action is really solid on this knife. The centering, the more I look at it, it's hard to tell. It seems like it might be off to the show side slightly. But I do remember in that review that I deleted, I did mess with the pivot a little bit because I felt the tiniest bit of play. So that might be why it's not centered now. But I mean, it's good enough for sure. I think it is centered. I don't know. Whatever. Action, ergos, aesthetics, cutting. So it has this flat grind, right? And it's sharp. And it comes down to a decent edge. It's not crazy or anything, but it's something Asher has really worked on since the first versions. They wanted to get that a little bit thinner behind the edge, make it a little bit better for cutting, and it is. It's really good. I have cut paper with this. I've cut cardboard. I've cut like plastic straps and strings off of hay bales, and I've cut open bags of seed and whatever. This is my yard knife now. So anything I've done yard work wise the last month, this thing has been there for it, and it does fantastically. I can flick it out, close it all day. Wearing gloves, I will say, I sort of wish they had one that was like 25% larger. I think overall with gloves on, at least for me, that would work a little bit better, but it's fine, right? But the blade is really good. I just want to mention that I've had this happen with 2 Asher knives, right? I've had a bunch, and 2 of them have come with like a micro burr on the edge. It's almost like at the factory, they didn't quite finish it off. And all I had to do was drop it on my strop like back and forth 3 times on each side, and it knocked whatever that was off, and then it was like a laser beam. So it's the weirdest thing that happened with my Silva as well, and then my other ones like the Nomad, the Spiros, the Flashback, they all came perfectly fine, like sharp right out of the gate. So it's just some kind of thing at the factory where maybe every once in a while they don't knock that burr all the way off, I guess. I'm not an expert on sharpening or anything, but that was my guess at what it was, because it was sharp as hell. It just needed that last bit of like polish or whatever. So the blade is really good, or the cutting. Carry, deep carry clip, goes most of the way to the end, is reversible. Thumb studs don't mess with you. You don't really have any issues there. It carries really well, guys. It's not heavy. It's not a bug out. It's not that light, but that's kind of the point. This has steel liners. It's more durable. It's more of a work type knife than that would be. So carry is great. Sounds, it's an axis lock, so not bad, not great. It's like a 4 or a 5. Value. So, guys, this is where Asher Knife Co. just kills it every time. It's why, one of the reasons I really love them. You guys know I'm not a huge budget knife guy, at least not anymore, and I still really like Asher's. The materials you get and the quality you get for the price is just amazing. $75 for this is really, really good. S35EN G10 steel liners, G10 backspacer, deep carry clip. It's hard to beat. So, yeah, value is excellent on this knife. This is a value, especially if you take the 10% off, code Lefty10. You're looking at, with tax and everything, you're probably paying the $75. That's pretty good. Recommendations. So I would definitely say that between this and the Nomad, there's pretty much a knife for everybody here, right? For a daily driver type EDC, actually using it work knife. Between these two, there's got to be something for everyone. So, in terms of the Centri, I could get why some people may not like the Harpoon. That is a hit or miss type deal. For me, it is a hit. I love the Poon Spoon for ergos, and I love the look of that Poon with the blood groove / fuller. So for me, I recommend this to anybody. Lefty, righty, whatever. Small hand, big hand. This handle seems to work for most people. But I could definitely see where someone might want to go with the Nomad. But that's the cool thing. Like, they have something for everybody. That's what's interesting about Asher. He has, more traditional looking knives, more modern looking knives, more tactical looking knives, flippers, axis lock, liner lock, frame lock. He's got all types of stuff, and he keeps coming out with new stuff. So you guys know I love Asher. It's, a thing. But this is the Asher Knives Centri 2.0. Really cool knife. I dig it. It is my yard work knife at this point. I will probably continue to use it and the Nomad in that kind of vein. And I just get more and more use with it. Maybe I'll do a long-term review of those. But that's it, guys. That's my full review of the Asher Knives Centri 2.0. Shout out to Justin over there for sending this one my way. And I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will catch you later.